Have you been searching for that next level upgrade? Ready to invest into something that is in it for the long haul? Well, look no further than the composited innovations provided by Prime. These customly crafted pieces are handmade by former Jason Johnson Racing car chief and Prime owner-operator Clyde Cadiff. Prime Composite Innovations is located centrally in Missouri and is looking to provide that big-time performance at a fraction of that big-time price. For additional information, visit prime-composites.com today to see what they have to offer, as well as their stable of current full-time drivers that trust Prime with their ride. For the future of innovations, with the properly composited type, you can depend, move forward, and rely on Prime. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is so damn good. Let's go down the schedule here. We'll get it just a little bit bigger. That's what she said. So that you can see all the details on the screen for you. So you see the post here, 90-night calendar. So we're not seeing, and this is a very interesting thing. You know, these sprint car people keep saying, we want to be like late models, and why can't we have two national series? The two national series on the late model side have about 45 to 50 races every single year. And they do that because they have two national series. A lot of the time, or not a majority, or not all the time, but a majority of the time, the World Outlaw Late Model Series and the Lucas Oil Late Model Series kind of flip-flop weekends. So, you know, with the 90 race schedule, there's a race every single week, midweek stuff, all 3-day weekends, 2-day weekends. Whereas when you look at the late model side of their schedule, you'll have it set up similar most of the time. This weekend is Lucas Oil late models aren't racing, but World Outlaw Late Model Series are racing, and all the late model people will go there, and this is why they coincide and race back and forth. Next weekend, World Outlaw Late Models ain't racing, but Lucas Oil's running 50,000 here. And this kind of flip-flops, and you mix in your World 100 and all this stuff. And that's how the two national series coexist on the late model side of things. They don't have 90, 78, 67, whatever. They don't have a full week in and week out schedule on either side of the Lucas Oil or the World Outlaw Late Model Series 2025 schedules. Usually, there is some weekends where both are racing, but most of the time, their schedules kind of bounce off of one another. And if they are racing on the same weekend, there's a decent amount of separation. This is most of the time. Here in the sprint car world, not happening. We're used to week in and week out, and we have this battle. No one coincides in a way, at least definitely not in the kumbaya situation or example that the late model world does it. This is full-blown fuck you every single weekend. I mean, we're doing our thing, and you're doing y'all's. I don't give a damn what you're doing. Who cares? And that's fine, especially if you're rolling out a schedule like this. 21 states, 2 countries, ladies and gentlemen, 2 countries. And by the way, congratulations to Calistoga Speedway on returning. It'll be interesting. I'm pretty sure High Limit will be there on one of those TBD or TBA dates with High Limit when they do their West Coast swings this year. So we get down here, and right off the bat, new track. And I've been telling everybody about this racetrack. I think it's one of the best racetrack bull ring style facilities in the country. I've been talking about this place for years. It finally got a little stroke of the eagle. They got some. They had an IRA race this last year. They have some huge USMTS modified and Outlaw super late model races. It's a World Outlaw event, I believe. But they bounce back and forth, and actually a couple of the big-time late model tracks from this area, Mississippi Thunder Speedway we're talking about, which is in Wisconsin, Fountain City, Wisconsin. I know it's weird, Mississippi Thunder Speedway, but it's on the Mississippi River that runs across the United States. But it is up there in Fountain City, Wisconsin, probably like, I want to say like 2 hours south of Cedar Lake, kind of in that vicinity. Only about an hour-ish, a little over an hour probably, east of Deer Creek, which is another track that we're going to talk about here. But August 19th, I say circle that event right after Knoxville Nationals. This will be one of those that will be very, very interesting. As it mentions here, IRA was here this last year, but Mississippi Thunder Speedway adding on the World of Outlaws August 19th. Back on the schedule. These are some pretty interesting back on the schedule racetracks here. Right off the get-go, Osh Weekend Speedway, May 14th and 15th, Canada, we're coming back. The nation's top sprint car drivers will make a highly anticipated return to Canada for the first time since 2017. That'll be interesting. It'll be cool to see how many crew members make it across and actually make it back. Cornwall Motor Speedway going to have a date. This is a part of this Canadian trip. That's going to be May 18th, so I guess they'll go into the country 14, 15, and on the way out, hit Cornwall. Plymouth Dirt Track. This is one of those tracks that did some business with the All-Stars. We would have assumed high limit. But no, they're adding on the World of Outlaws, June 6th. They have like a little bit of a string here in Wisconsin and all these little areas in June, it looks like. And it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. But Plymouth Dirt Track, really good little bull ring. Has a little size to it, but I've always seen exciting racing. Another track here that's going to be very anticipated, Angel Park Speedway. Going to be having the Outlaws back. It says here the last time they were there was 2016, the one and only visit, apparently. But this is another one of those short tracks, flat. I think we all remember that 2016 race. I believe the track was extremely rutted up, and there was a lot of complaints from the drivers. But there's been a lot of work done. The people who run things there are amazing. They do a great job. So that should be a great race. And then there it is, another one of these big-time premium late model tracks making a return, in this case, to the schedule. Deer Creek Speedway. It says an 8-year wait ends in July when Minnesota's Deer Creek Speedway welcomes the nation's best sprint car drivers July 10th. That's going to be must-see. That place is extremely high-banked, widens out, fast, exciting. It never goes bad. Vado Speedway Park, going to be seeing a 2-day race event. This is in September, which is usually the West Coast swing, and it looks like we still do have a West Coast swing here, but they're going to kind of spur that West Coast swing at Vado, a 2-day event in September. That'll be good for the weather. I feel like people try to go to the south in these areas when it's, a winter time or a early spring time, and there's just not always the best weather in the southern hemisphere the southern areas. Hemisphere is not the right word. The southern areas of the United States, southern regions. Even though it's February or March, it could still be balls ass cold in Arizona, in Texas, in New Mexico. It can still be very cold and uncomfortable. But September 5th and 6th, 2-day show, I think that'll be a good one. Then they're off into their West Coast trip. It looks like there is going to be still that West Coast trip. Paris Auto Speedway, September 13th. That would be the following weekend. I can't wait to see what else spurs with that. We're going to get to the full schedule here in a second. New Egypt Speedway getting an October date. It'll be interesting to see how that plays around. And then LaSalle Speedway making a return. I don't know who's been seeing this, but LaSalle has been getting some attention here recently on coming back. And they're coming back with the World of Outlaws. This was always a must-see race, traditionally, sprint cars at this track in Illinois. So, awesome so far. This is where awesome, I don't know, takes a turn for the best or the worst. Crown Jewels. So, July 18th and 19th, we have the King's Royal Crown Jewel. Going to be amazing. $200,000 to win this year. Knoxville Nationals. August 6th through 9th, $195,000. 63rd annual national 63rd National Open, October 3rd and 4th in Pennsylvania. Williams Grove, $75,000 to win. And the reason I just listed off the crown jewels that are here is because those are the only crown jewels on this list. I really, and I know other people agree with this. Crown jewels are not just a payday. Crown jewels are historical-based events. You see this? It says 42nd, okay? King's Roll. It says 64th Knoxville Nationals. It says 63rd National Open. I'm sorry, people with money. I don't care what price tag you put on the winner's plate. The Dennis Roth Classic is listed Dennis Roth Classic because it would be disrespectful, and it's honestly disrespectful right now. It would be disrespectful if you put Dennis Roth Classic under the title Crown Jewel next to 42nd, 64th, and 63rd. Okay, now these races are, and even Houston's High Banks, it's got a few more years, but if it's the 6th annual, I don't even know what it is now. If it said 4th annual, I think it's 4th annual. If that's wrong, kill me, but 4th annual big paying event. Okay? So these aren't crown jewels, because I think to become a crown jewel, you need to have that pedigree. Now, what are these races? Maybe there needs to be a new category, elite events. That sounds cool, right? Elite events. We have our crown jewels, 42nd Kings Royal, 64th Knoxville National, 63rd National Open, and now we have these elite events, which is what they are technically. There's like a big word phrase there. You could say elitist event. It's elitist events if you want to become, honest about it. But elite event sounds good. That's a good catchy phrase. A new title, everything. Where's my cut of my check on these marketing ideas? So these elite events are great. Kind of. I think the Dennis Roth Classic is awesome. I think Houston's, what they're trying to do is great. But I still see a problem, and I think a lot of people have a problem, that you're putting those next to 42nd, 64th, 63rd. Bro, there ain't a 5th, there ain't a 10th, there ain't a 15th, a 20th, a 25th, a 30th, a 35th, a 40th, a 35th. There's 42 of these son of a bitches, 64 of these. This is how you have a crown jewel. Lineage. Do you understand the wordplay in crown jewels? How do you get a crown? You're a part of a lineage, a monarch, a kingdom that has withstood the test of time. That's how you get a crown. That's where the word crown jewels come from. Crowns come from successful lineages. In this little motorsports thing, that's 42 years. That's 64 years. That's 63 years. That's not 2 or 5 or 6. Those are elite events. They're not crown jewels. Make a new word for these events, please. Mainstays, Jason Johnson Classic, April 4th and 5th. That's good. Arrowhead's a great speedway. Needs to have some recognition. Federated Auto Parts, I-55 having 2 events, two-day weekend events. Let's Race 2 at Eldora with USAC once again. Figure out the streaming, please. Lincoln Speedway having 2 single-day events. Morgan Cup and Summer Nationals, the 2 Tando weekends at Williams Grove still happening in the spring and summer, along with the Winter National Open. Attica Raceway Park, 2 single-day events. Jackson Motorplex, this is a little bit of a change, 2 single-day events now. I believe the Jackson Nationals is still happening, but it's not going to be under the World Outlaw banner. And then Beaver Dam Raceway going to have a single-day event. Obviously, Beaver Dam Raceway not going to be a full-time operating facility. So here's the full schedule as we go down it here. Obviously, you got 3 days straight at Volusia Speedway Park for, speed weeks. Bike week with Volusia Speedway Park. The following weekend of Friday, Saturday at Talladega and Magnolia. These are 2 really good racetracks. I wonder what Talladega is going to do with their fall off in 3 and 4. I don't know if they have addressed it with the wall or something yet, but we'll see. But Magnolia always puts on a really good race. The 2-day race weekend at Kennedale Speedway Park, I touted this one this year a lot. I thought this was going to be an amazing race. It's a quick, little, fast, short track that slicks off. A lot of issues this year. Weather's always an issue down there at this time of the year, too. hopefully they get a prime weekend and that track can show what it really can do. Cotton Bowl, always a good race. Always a good race. Long straightaways, tight turns, good banking, good wall, good fencing. Puts on a good show every time. That Texas slick really comes out at that track as well. Following weekend, Lawton and 81 Speedway, Tando, two good racetracks. And then we see the Arrowhead, the Federated Auto Parts, the Spring Knoxville Raceway 2-day shows. Jacksonville, Tri-State in Hobstadt, Friday, Saturday, Tando, the Litz Race 2, the PA Swing that starts with Lincoln, Williams Grove. I really like the placement of the Osh Weekend Speedway event. I do feel like the early part of the year kind of does miss that marquee kind of event after Speed Weeks. It's kind of like in this blah period until we do get to Kings Royal. So potentially adding a flare-up event in this May period, I would have maybe even April, somebody figure something out there. But putting something really wow in this period of time is very smart. Following weekend, they got their Ohio Swing, Attica, Sharon, Atomic. Then they do their Northern Swing, River Cities, Red River Valley, Jackson Motorplex is a midweek event. Then they got a little Wisconsin Swing, 6, 7, 8, Plymouth, Beaver Dam, Angel Park. We noted those. The summer 2-day race at Knoxville, Huset's High Bank Nationals, the elite event of the Huset's High Bank Nationals. Cedar Lake Speedway, 2-day show, always one of the best races of the year. Then a midweek or Thursday, Friday. That's interesting. So it looks like they do take off a period there. So once again, July 4th weekend off. They take off a period of time and then come back on a Thursday and then a Friday, Saturday with Deer Creek spurring that. Going to be really good. Then Wilmot for 2 nights. Attica, and then we get over into the Kings Royal, Baps Motor Speedway as they flow out to PA. Summer Nationals at Williams Grove, Weedsport up into New York. Only one date in New York with the Canada situation. So we'll see. That you thought they would have hit something else. You thought they would have hit something else on the way out from Canada, but in New York potentially, but not the case here. But then they go from Weedsport to the next weekend, I-55, Ironman, Knoxville Nationals, Ogilvie, can we get a good race? That track is slick and a monstrous, amazing racetrack most of the time. Jacksonville, then Mississippi Thunder Speedway. In between Jacksonville and River Cities, that's kind of a bit of a detour, but it's going to be worth it. Red River Valley Speedway again. Huset's at the end of August for a 2-day show. Then we see this West Coast Swing of Vado, Bakersfield, Paris Auto Speedway, Thunderbolt, Tulare. And then you see a TBD the weekend after. They drive all the way back to Ohio. Will they find a date there for Friday, September 26th, somewhere between California and Ohio? That'd be an interesting date for a bunch of different racetracks that are looking for some kind of premier sprint car event. National Open in 3 and 4. And then they have a Friday, Saturday, New Egypt on Friday, Lincoln on Saturday. That's another weird detour. TBD on the Friday before the Saturday at LaSalle. TBD 2-day weekend, the 2 weekends before the World Finals. So that is the full schedule, along with my comments on some of these certain tracks and certain things. It's going to be an interesting 2025, guys. It is going to be an interesting 2025 here, the World of Outlaws. Going at it, man. Going at it, swinging hard, going to a few new tracks, a few new stylistic changes. It's not bad. It's really good. Although I do think elite events, crown jewels, we could have some separation. I think we could have some separation. This is how we ride. This is how we do.